Hi guys. So, I have recorded this video a couple times, which I feel like I say for a lot of videos. But I was going to upload another version of this video this morning and realized that I was just not happy with it. It wasn't that I was lying to you guys in it, but I really wasn't being totally honest, I don't think. So, I thought I would remedy that and sit down and talk to you guys a little bit more personally about the truth of how it feels to be struggling with infertility and be around pregnancy and babies and what that really is like for me and how it's changed. Actually, is something I want to talk about because it's different today than it was a year ago, and it's different today than it was 6 months ago. So I thought I would talk about that a little bit. So I want to start with when I first got baby fever. I have always wanted to be a mom, but it was probably 2.5 years ago that I really started to have like a craving, a real desire to be a mom soon. And for me it was because my husband and I were married, and then we sorry, the dog made a weird noise. But anyways, Tim and I had gotten married, and then I had started to see him grow up a little, and as he started to mature, I just started thinking, wow, this guy is going to be an awesome dad, and it sort of triggered something in me, like, I want to be the mom to his kids. It stopped being like a hypothetical, I want to be a mom someday, and became I want to be a mom to his children, I want to see our family, and that's what sort of sparked it. Okay. So that kind of happened, and it really was sort of a shift in me. And that's when it started to be hard for me to see other people announcing pregnancies. It wasn't the kind of hard that it is now. It was like a jealousy that sort of, it's kind of like a little bit of a knot. It was like a knot in my stomach sometimes when I would see somebody announce that they were pregnant, or I would see someone with like a nice big baby belly and they like be talking about it or stuff like that. It would kind of put this knot, like this hot little ulcery knot in my stomach of just jealousy. It was just petty jealousy. And so that's how it was for a while for me. And then when we started actively trying, it became more, not even then, I guess. It was probably before we started actively trying, but after a while, it stopped being such like a painful little jealousy thing, and it became more of like an ache, something that sort of settled in and sort of sat on my chest and was just like an ache. I felt like I was longing for something, and I knew that it wasn't time, and I knew logically that I wasn't ready, but I just had this ache in me that I really wanted it to be there, and I wanted it to be time. That went away when we started trying. When we started to try, that kind of went away from me and became excitement, because I thought that was it. We were going to try, and we were young and healthy, so I didn't really think I didn't think it was going to be an issue. So it just became excitement. That ache and that sort of jealousy just became excitement. When I would see other people's pregnancy announcements or see other people pregnant, I started to not be jealous, but to be excited because I knew that my time was coming. And like, I guess those first couple years where I, was just jealous, and before I started trying, I didn't really do much about it because I thought that my time was still coming. So I didn't really have any way to handle that other than just ignoring it, really, and reminding myself that my time was coming. Because at that point, I didn't think it would be an issue. I didn't ever foresee that I would be here. But yeah, so we started trying, and then we got pregnant, and it was dramatic, as you guys know, but we thought that it was going to be okay, and so that, that jealousy went away for a little while. And then after we lost Luna, our first baby, I it came back with a vengeance. And it wasn't even like, it was as soon as we learned that our pregnancy was not viable, it was as soon as we heard that there was a problem, it just came rushing back to me, and it was such an extreme ache and an extreme jealousy. I was so mad at everyone else who had healthy pregnancies because it wasn't fair. I hadn't done anything wrong. I was a good person. We were in a happy, healthy, committed relationship. I had done everything that I was supposed to do, and somehow I was stuck with the short end of the straw, and these people who didn't deserve it, was how I felt, honestly. They were getting what I wanted, and that really pissed me off, and it made me sad, and I think that made my grief process at first much harder, because I wasn't just dealing with my own stuff and with Tim's stuff. I was taking on all this extra anger and jealousy from other people that was just not necessary. And I didn't deal with it very well at first. I didn't do anything about it. I just let myself be mad. And I actually think that because I was so upset, that was probably the only thing I could do at that time, because I was in such shock of losing that baby that I didn't have any room for much else, So I think that there wasn't much I could do then, but as I moved forward, there's probably more I could have done as I kind of got a little bit further away from the immediate shock of the loss. I probably could have done a little bit more to try to grow, or, I don't know, feel less angry, but I didn't at that time. I just embraced it. I kind of leaned into the anger instead of leaning into the grief. But I'm kind of getting long-winded already. So that was a year ago, a little less than a year ago. After that, things sort of shifted for me. I still had this burning jealousy when I would see other people's pregnancy announcements, but it wasn't always. I could see pregnancy announcements and feel happy for that person, and then it would change to jealousy or anger. But I started to get a little better, especially when we had our brother and sister-in-law announce that they were pregnant. That was kind of a turning point for me. The night that we found out was really hard, but it was good. It was in the early fall, and we'd had our second miscarriage by that point, and we were kind of in a place of healing ourselves. We'd been doing a lot of talking and working on our marriage, and they called and told us, and they were due almost exactly a month after we would have been due with our first. So, of course, we were really happy for them, and there was that happiness, honestly, and I kept trying to focus on the fact that I was going to be an aunt for the first time, like a real aunt, and all that, and so I did try to focus on that, but we hung up the phone with them, and Tim came. I was sitting in our bedroom, on our chair in the bedroom, and I just remember sitting there and thinking, like, I couldn't stop playing, what is that song called? It's a really cheesy 90s song, I think by Lifehouse or something. I don't know. If I remember, I'll write the song below, but it kept playing in my head, and I couldn't stop it. It just kept playing, and I kept hearing the song in my head because I was trying to drown out what everything else I was thinking. My brain was drowning everything out for me, and I was just playing the song, and I just looked at him and I said, I just feel like I need to listen to the song. So he put it on. Oh, I Will Cherish You? Is that what that song is called? Anyways, so he grabbed a laptop, put it on, and we just sat there, and we listened to it, and he just held me, and then I just cried. And I just cried and cried and cried, and I realized that, yeah, I was happy that I was going to be an aunt, and I was happy for them that they were having a baby, but I was also just sad. And while I felt angry and I felt jealous, that those were just surface emotions. They were really just hiding the fact that I was sad. I was sad because I wasn't, sharing my pregnancy with everyone. I wasn't getting to celebrate, these milestones and all of that. So it was kind of in that night where I just cried and we just talked and cried and all that I kind of started to turn, and I realized that when I was feeling these jealous emotions and these angry emotions, that yeah, like I was jealous and angry, but I was also just sad. And I think it was easier to feel angry or jealous than to deal with my own sadness about it all. And I've taken that through the last 9 months or so. And as we've gotten more in the thick of this infertility journey, I've started more to turn my energy back to us. So I do let myself have moments where I'm just pissed. Like if we see someone in this grocery store who's pregnant, who just, looks like a bitch, or I don't know, you know what I mean. I see someone out and I just get jealous or whatever. Sometimes I let myself have those moments, and I let myself go to the car and just be mad. But I also try to remember that I'm probably not really angry at the stranger in the grocery store, that I'm probably upset because I'm remembering how much I want it, and I'm feeling the grief for the babies that I've lost and the babies I don't have yet. So that's been how I've kind of tried to channel all, because you get so much emotion from being around pregnancy and babies. Like it ignites a kind of emotion in me that I don't get from a lot of other places, and I've just tried to refocus that back to myself and to our marriage and into our lives, and to remember that energy is all pushing us towards becoming the parents we're supposed to be, and towards our kids that are going to be ours and ours that we get to raise. So I've already talked for 12 minutes, but that's kind of what it's been like for me so far. I will say, like, with pregnancies that have been close to me, it's also helped a lot to really, like, lean into the pregnancies and, like, try to be an active participant in people's pregnancies if it's appropriate. Like, with my sister-in-law and my cousin, who are the two people that have had babies in the past year that I'm close to, being able to, like, help plan baby showers and make little, like, announcements when their newborns arrive, or talking to them a lot about pregnancy and childbirth and all that sort of thing. Being active and, like, an active participant in those conversations helps me a lot. When I try to avoid those events or avoid the conversation or ignore pictures, stuff like that, it honestly makes it harder, because I feel like I'm not only missing out on my kids and in my pregnancy, but I'm also missing out on theirs, when I could instead be at least getting, like, it's like a fix, like I'm getting, like, a little, like, dose of pregnancy and a little dose of newborn, which it's bittersweet, but it ends up helping, I guess. So I don't really know if this is going to help anyone, but I wanted it to be more real. I wanted to talk to you guys more about what it was really like and what my journey has really been like as far as being around pregnancy and babies. And it's still hard. Like, this weekend we went to our niece's baptism, the one who's about a month younger than our firstborn Luna would have been, and that was difficult. It was hard because, for a lot of reasons, but being able to experience it and be a part of it, while it hurts and it's difficult, at the end of the day, I'm thankful that I at least get to be an aunt, and that I get to experience these moments, these beautiful times in some way. It's not ideal, and it's not what I really want, but it's something, and that's better than nothing. So it doesn't get easier, really, dealing with the pregnancy and childbirth stuff. It just gets different. It just changes, and it changes every day. And, like, I might be able to walk away from this video, go check my Facebook and see a pregnancy announcement right now and be fine. And in 5 hours, I might see another pregnancy announcement and start crying. So I think I'll be done for now. If you guys have any questions about anything else, or if you want me to talk about something specifically, let me know, and I'm totally willing to. I'll try to be honest with you guys. Like I said, I'm not going to edit this video, so hopefully, hopefully this helps. But I love you guys, and thank you so much for being a part of my journey. And I will say before I go, one of the things that also helps me is remembering to be happy for strangers like I am for you. So I don't feel jealous really or get upset when I see your pregnancies or your BFPs or whatever, because I've been such an active player. I feel like in your TTC journey, I know what you're going through a little bit. I know that it's been hard on you, and so I try to take that feeling of like just being like I'm part of the team and put that on strangers. That is one thing I have actually thought about trying to do. So if I see someone post a pregnancy announcement, I try to remind myself that maybe they went through a journey that was just as difficult, if not more difficult, than mine or yours, or Butt in the Ovens, or Strength Beyond the Storm. I don't know what their journey was. So I pretend I'm on their team. I pretend I was on their TTC team, and that I'm excited because we had a victory. So I'll shut up now. But I love you guys, baby dust, and I hope that I will be talking to you guys soon, and I love you. And that was attractive. Bye.